Hey, it's Tim. Today I'm going to make garlic knots using the recipe in the book Bread Illustrated from America's Test Kitchen. The recipe you'll find on page 166. And this is what it's supposed to look like when it's done. So let's give this a shot. The first step is you got to make some garlic butter. So I've got 3 cloves of fresh garlic that I'm going to mince and then cook that over a medium heat in a non-stick skillet with 1 teaspoon of water and half a tablespoon of butter. But I got to peel this garlic. Well, I think that's a tablespoon. Let's see. There you go, 1 tablespoon. You see this garlic is starting to turn brown. We've got to be careful because if it gets too brown it'll be bitter, and no one likes bitter garlic. In fact, I think what I'll do is turn this off and I'll go ahead and add the remaining tablespoon of butter to the pan. The cold butter will melt, but it'll drop the temperature enough to stop any further browning on the garlic. So we'll just let that sit. And we'll add 1 cup of all-purpose flour, which is about 142 grams, a half a teaspoon of plain salt, and 1½ teaspoons of instant rapid rise yeast. So I'm going to whisk the dry ingredients together and then set this aside. Now I'm going to strain this garlic butter. Now that that's done, I can finish mixing this dough. The garlic butter has been strained of the garlic solids after they were browned. And now we're going to add all of the garlic solids. Okay. And all of the water. And 1½ teaspoons of this melted butter. That's good enough. And our goal is a shaggy dough. After 30 seconds, stop the mixer, mix the dough up to help incorporate the liquid into the dry ingredients. So all of the liquid has been absorbed by the flour. Now we'll turn it up to the 2nd speed and knead for 8 minutes. 8 minutes is up. Very small piece of dough, 1 cup of flour, 3 ounces of water. Not making a lot of bread here. I'm going to make 6 garlic knots. You can see the garlic in the dough and you can smell it. I'm going to knead this just a little bit, which I normally don't do. Normally I just form it straight into a ball as it comes out of the mixer, but because this is such a small piece of dough, I want to make sure that I got the mixer to do its job properly, and by the feel of it, I did. So this is a nice, well-developed dough at this point. A little bit of vegetable oil spray in a bowl. Dough goes in the bowl, cover, let rise for an hour to an hour and a half. After 20 minutes, after a total of 40 minutes, 60 minutes. I'm calling that doubled in size. So I need 6 equal pieces. So each of these weighs about 40 grams, about an ounce and a half. We've got to roll this out into a 14-inch long rope. Okay, that's 14. So over in a knot, this one comes through and out. This one comes up and out. So it's kind of a double knot, essentially. And then onto parchment, and they proof for an hour to an hour and a half. Now at this stage, once they're rolled and made into knots, they can go into the refrigerator for 12 to 18 hours. And then before you bake them, they come out and proof for an hour to an hour and a half at room temperature. So now the under comes over like that, this one goes in like that, and pull those through. Garlic knots. Six garlic knots. Now these need to proof for an hour to an hour and a half. These have risen beautifully, and now they're going to go into the oven's ready. They're going to go into a 500-degree oven. Let's see if I can move this one without ruining it. Good. Give them a little bit of space. Good. Perfect. In they go. 500 degrees for 5 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, I'll take them out, I'll brush them with butter, and I'll put them in after rotating the pan halfway. So in they go. Alright, 5 minutes is up. Man, these are starting to look pretty darn good. So these were at the back of the oven. So now when I put the pan in, I'm going to rotate it so that these will be at the back of the oven. And in they go for 5 minutes more. Hey, time is up. Brush with a little bit more butter. And remember, this is the butter that's the garlic was cooked in, so pretty tasty stuff. Now we'll sprinkle with salt. these have to rest for 15 minutes. Have to rest for 15 minutes. And then we'll give one a try. They have cooled. It's time to do the taste test. I'm going to pick this one. And we'll see. They smell nice and garlicky. Nicely cooked. Ah, look. You tear it open and it's like a nice soft roll inside. Oh, wow. That's really good. That's really good. So what did we do today? We used some flour, some water, some butter and garlic, some salt, and some yeast, right? Correct. And we made some really delicious garlic rolls. The garlic flavor is fantastic. I wouldn't be opposed to making a little bit extra garlic butter to have a little bit to dip in, but they really are fantastic just the way they are. Of course, maybe a marinara sauce, right? So if you're having spaghetti with a nice marinara, these would dip perfectly in that. The garlic flavor is just great. A little bit of salt on top just adds that little bit extra. Gills the lily, as it were. All right, so these are garlic knots. Thanks for watching.